Hello, everyone, and you are now listening to The Hog Call, Roundhouse Ramble. Welcome to the first ever episode of a podcast for nerds, run by a nerd. Now, let's dive into today's episode. It may be short, but don't worry, we'll get longer episodes soon in the near future. Now, for those of you now wondering, who is this girl? Who is she? Who is this chick? You may call me Lina at Havalina. I'll be your hostess for Roundhouse Ramble. I'm a student here in PSJ Southwest High School. That's all I'll say for now, despite some of the people listening may recognize me for my voice and such. Now, another question some of you may think, what the heck is even Roundhouse Ramble? What will you talk about this? Well, as it's saying in the name, I will ramble on this podcast. I will rant about stuff that I happen to like. This podcast of mine will range from video games, role plays, anime, TV shows, and movies, and even read aloud submissions from you guys. Now, you may wonder, what do you mean by read aloud submissions? Well, you guys will be able to submit stories, whether it be talking about an experience you went through, a story that you wish for me to read on here, whether it be a story that you wrote yourself or a story that you actually happen to go through, to even stories like, am I the a-hole for, I don't know, dating my best friend's ex? I'm open to it all. From video games, I will range from many things to Twisted Wonderland, Project Seikai, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, many, many more. Role plays, it could be from anything to Minecraft SMPs, to shows that people make on the internet and such. Animes, I am a genius when it comes to that. Whole reason why I created this podcast. Animes, I will range from many to any romance ones like Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Fruit Baskets, Bungo Stray Dogs, My Hero Academia, One Piece, Naruto, and many, many more. Trust me, you can ask me about any anime and I will know it. From headcanons to theories to fanfics to many more fan artists. And a question you may think, will this be a solo podcast where I am just talking for many, many minutes, if not hours, just ranting to myself in a little empty room? Don't worry. Soon after this episode, I will have many, many guests coming onto this show, where we will talk about a lot of things. I should stop saying many. And don't worry, this is an area where you may seem at first, you may think I'm strange for doing this and such, but I kid you not, I am strange. But isn't that the unique part of life? I mean, we're not all the same. We're different in many ways. We can all stand out in many ways, of course. And in this podcast, not only that, I will find many, many different ways to talk to people. Whether it be fellow YouTubers who may do similar stuff as me, or do animatics, do cover songs, do actual songs, and such. They talk about murder mystery. They talk about anything that could come to your mind. And not only that, I may even have voice actors coming onto this podcast. This is a safe space. I want this to be an area where people could come on and listen to anything that their heart desires, whether it's trying to understand the lore of Genshin, which is impossible for many to understand, wanting to know, okay, what about the backstory of a Genshin character and such, or trying to understand why this Honkai character really hates the Galaxy Rangers in the game. Or in Twisted Wonderland, does the main character even know where they come from and such? Or Project Seikai, what are even the Seikais and how are they created? Are they born out of imagination, out of feelings, out of inspiration, out of your positive emotions, negative emotions and such? Or even in anime, why in Bungo Stray Dogs, why can't the main character Atsushi? What would it have been like if he had joined the Port Mafia or the DK of Angels instead of the Armed Detective Agency? What would have happened if he never found out he had a special ability? What would have happened if Dazai had stayed in the Port Mafia? Trust me, those fans who know Bungo Stray Dogs, just read the Bungo Stray Dogs Beast. We've all cried over it at least once. I include myself. Now, Sure, I may sound a bit nerdy for saying all this, rambling on and on and on about who knows what comes into my psychotic mind of mine. But listen, this podcast, something tells me there's a lot more chaos coming in the near future. Something tells me that in the time this is posted, I'm already having new episodes lined up. I'm already messaging 5 creators or YouTubers, voice actors, singers, or something to try and invite them on here. And trust me, those will lead to some sleepless nights at 3 in the morning writing a script for this. Trust me, it happens more than one occasion. And not only that, I may even bring on other students, whether it be some students from JRTC, some from choir. I might even bring on teachers like the wonderful theater teachers of ours, or maybe even just some teachers that you know that are just from passing classes. And honestly, I want you guys to enjoy this podcast, a podcast where you'll be open up, let your little freak flag fly, let yourself get loose and free and such. And I want people to enjoy this podcast. I want to find a way to connect to people and such. And if you guys would like to submit some stuff, as in, like I had said earlier, story submissions, ideas, who would volunteer to be a guest on here and talk about a certain topic, you can email javelinamedia@psjaisd.us under the subject Roundhouse Ramble, and you may either say if it's something targeted to me or you want me to read. You could just say Roundhouse Ramble, or for Lina at Javelina. Thank you all for listening to this little episode of mine. This is Lina at Javelina signing out.